What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be previewing the Houston Astros four-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. As the Astros will get ready for 4 games against the Rays. It'll be a very interesting series for the Houston Astros on a 4-game set against Tampa after losing a series against Tampa in Tampa, or on the road. They're not in Tampa, but they're in Florida, and I believe it's not in Florida. It's somewhere in Florida that they're playing. But the Astros lost that series, losing 2 of the 3 games on the road against the Rays. And so I think you'd like to see this Astros team bounce back in this 4-game series. The Astros so far in 2 4-game series against 2 division rivals have played well. The first one was on the road, and the Astros split 2-2. And then the second one was at home. The Astros won that series last weekend against the Mariners, 3-1. So the Astros have had good success this year in 4-game series. We'll see if they can continue that. Let's preview this series. So first game of this series, we'll see the matchup tomorrow night, which is first pitch 7:10, back to night game for the Astros, because obviously today's game was today's 5-3 win for the Astros. Getting the sweep was a day game at 1:10. The Astros back at 7 o'clock game. It'll be Shane Baz versus Ryan Gusto. This should be an interesting pitching matchup, I believe. Shane Baz's last start was actually pretty good, going 5 2/3 and 1 earned run against Toronto. The Astros did not see Baz in the series. In Florida. But the previous starts before that is what really real struggles for Baz. A couple of those bad starts are on the road. 5 earned runs against Miami in 6 innings. 3 earned runs against Toronto in 4 2/3. Against Philly, he gave up 6 earned runs in 3 1/3. 7 earned runs against Kansas City in 5 2/3. So that's the good thing. But he is coming off a good start. Like I mentioned, 5 2/3, 1 earned run against Toronto, and that was at home. But and then Ryan Gusto is actually coming off a pretty solid start for the Astros last Friday. Pitched against the Mariners, went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. This should be an interesting game. I would lean towards the Rays winning the opener of this series, but I definitely think it's a winnable game with the Astros, with Baz having struggles in previous starts outside of his last start. It's definitely a winnable game, and I'm gonna get into why I have the Astros losing this opener of this series. They're red hot right now. They've got 4 in a row. They've got 5 of their last 6, 7 of their last 10. And I just see them dropping one here, and that's one reason they have how hot they've been lately. But how much I like them in the other games of this series is another reason why. I'm not going with them winning this opener of this series, because I don't want to get too greedy and say the Astros get a 4-game sweep here. I think it's possible, but I think it's more likely that the Astros grab 3 of 4 in this series. And I honestly really like the Astros' chances in the next games of this series. The Astros will then play Friday night at 7:10 as well. And it will be, in the second match, will be Framber Valdez versus Ryan Pepiot. And this is the matchup I really like for the Astros. The Rays are really struggling this year against left-handed pitchers. Or at least this was the case when the Astros faced them. Before the Astros series against the Rays, the Rays are really struggling against lefties. The Astros had 2 lefties starting that series, Colton Gordon and Walter, and Brandon Walter pitched 5 innings in that series. When he got that start, didn't give up any earned runs. The Rays saw 2 lefties go. The Rays saw 2 lefties in that series who had spent more time in AAA than the major leagues, go 10 1/3 with 12 strikeouts and only getting 3 runs off of those guys in 10 1/3. They have struggles against lefties, and Framber Valdez is one of the best lefties in the game. 3.39 ERA, is at this point has one of the best well, this was at the time of his last outing. At the time of his last outing, he was tied for second quality starts in the league. That might have changed, but that was the last time after his last quality start against Seattle, he was tied for second in quality starts. He's been absolutely amazing recently for this Astros team. He's been putting on a show recently. You saw what he did last outing, going 6 innings against Seattle. And then you look at all the other outings before that, and he's just been on a heater recently for this team. The 7-inning game against Texas with 8 strikeouts, that was a dub. 8 innings against Kansas City, complete game, 7 strikeouts. That was a loss for the Astros, but still he was amazing. 7 innings against Milwaukee with 7 strikeouts. The Astros have won 3 of the last 4 games for the Astros when Framber Valdez starts. The Astros win. Oh, and by the way, I said 8 innings for Framber against Kansas City. That was a win. I was thinking about a different game for Framber against the Royals where he had a complete game and so he had 2 8-inning games against the Royals this year. So the Astros have won 4 straight games with Framber Valdez on the mound. So with the Rays struggling against lefties this year, Framber, dominating recently, I like the Astros' chances, but here's another reason. Ryan Pepiot is a guy who really struggles going up against right-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters dominate against Ryan Pepiot. His last outing was actually really good, going 7 innings and 0 earned runs. His ERA is this year 3.55. But the Astros gave him a lot of trouble when they faced him in Florida. He had given up 8 hits in 6 innings in that outing. So he struggles a lot against righties, and to me that makes me think that the Astros have a good chance facing Pepiot, and then plus Framber does on the mound for the Astros in Friday's game. And so yeah, I mean, and you look at some of the Astros success against Pepiot. Altuve is over for 3 and did have success in that game where the Astros killed Pepiot and won the game, but Caratini hit a home run off of him in that game. Chas McCormick went 1 for 2 off him. Jake Myers had a hit and a walk against him. Isak 2 for 3 against him. Pena's 2 for 3 against him. Can Smith went 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI double in that game against him. I don't think what Christian Walker did in that game doesn't really matter because he might not play in that game. That's something that is concerning for the Astros potentially. But I like the Astros winning the second game of the series. Then you look at the third game of the series, Colton Gordon versus Zach Littell. The Astros faced Zach Littell in that series against the Rays, and the Astros did lose that game, but they got 7 hits off of him in 5 innings. And this Astros team is much better, at home than they are on the road. This game for the Astros will be a little bit of a earlier game compared to the first two, a 3-10 start for the Astros. This will be the last game of May for the Astros, and it's been such a great month. I would predict the Astros finish the month off the right note. That's the only way to end it with how good of a month it's been. But like I mentioned, Colton Gordon, he doesn't have a game this year where the Astros lose in a Colton Gordon outing. They are in his 3 starts. They are 3-0. He's pitched 14 2/3 with 14 strikeouts so far. And his best game was against these Rays, going 5 1/3, 7 strikeouts. I mean, you look at they went the Rays batters in that game went 5 for 21 against Gordon. So that's something to look at. And some of the Astros hitters had a lot of success against Zach Littell, with the Astros getting 7 hits in 5 innings against him. Makes me confident for that game. And then we get to the last game of this series. It's Hunter Brown versus Taj Bradley. It's this same pitching matchup we saw in the series finale against in the series finale last time these two teams played. And it was a horrendous outing for Hunter. His worst of the year. He had 5 earned runs. We saw a great bounce back the other night against the A's, only giving up 1 earned run in 6 innings. Hunter's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, tied for first place in best win-for-loss record, 7th place in best ERA, 7th place in strikeouts, 6th place in WHIP. He's been outstanding this year, and he had his worst outing against this Rays team. I think partly because it's not a pitcher's ballpark. It is easy to have success for hitters in that ballpark for the Rays, and it is really easy for pitchers to have a tough time. I see Hunter Brown bouncing back in this outing Sunday afternoon. He pitches better at home than he does on the road. He pitches well on the road too, but he pitches better when he's at home. And the Rays, the Rays can have success, in this series, with hitting home runs. It can be easy to hit home runs at Minute Maid Park. Sorry, at Daikin Park. It's the first time I've called it Minute Maid Park in a while. I've been more consistent with not calling it Minute and calling it Daikin Park. But it is with this team. You've seen them where it gets easier. It gets easier at home than it is on the road, to the point where they're 20-10 at home, 10-15 on the road. 18-6 in the last 24 home games. So, I think that this is a great series for the Astros. I think it's possible they could possibly sweep the Rays and win all 4 of these games and take that winning streak to 8. But I think that's unlikely. Like I said, I'm predicting the Astros to lose the opener of this series and then start a new winning streak and win the next 3. I really like I'll tell you what. It's not like I'm very positive the Astros are going to lose. I'm just really, really positive the Astros are going to win the last 3 games of this series. So if I had to pick the Astros to lose a game in this series, it's going to be the opener. I could see the Astros sweeping this series, but I am really confident in these games from Friday to Sunday. So I'm going with the Astros losing the opener and then winning the next 3 to take 3 of 4. And then the record would be 33-26 after this series. Let's hope it goes. The worst thing that could happen for the Astros in this series is 2-2, because I don't see the Astros losing the starts that Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez are out there. Maybe you could lose both starts where Colton Gordon and Ryan Gusto are out there, but I think the Astros can at least get 1 win with those 2 guys out there, if not both. But I'm going with 3 of 4 for the Stros. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out. Go Stros.